torquing all the injectors, because I forgot to do so earlier because we went to lunch. Before I tighten the rest of this. And they're 59 foot-pounds. You got to pull all these all the way to the top when you torque them, if they're in place. $59 foot-pounds. Alright, so it's 22 foot-pounds. And then 60 degrees, which is one flat, one of these bolts. So, we'll do this one. Show you that face. That's about right there. So, let's find out what torque that is. What do you think? Where's Jerry's good torque wrench? Check torque. Alright, I'm going to torque these to 110. It's 22 foot-pounds plus 60 degrees, which roughly gets about 110 foot-pounds. So, I'm going to set them all to 110. You're supposed to work your way out from the center. I've already been doing that, just kind of catching up on it. Think this engine's even going to run?
For sure.
After I rebuild it myself? Who knows? It might go boom, bang, bing, bang, bang, boom, and all the parts be in the floor. Hope not. Put a lot of money in it. Alright, cut. Now let's do the back half. Now we need to do the injector rockers. I'm going to do the injector rockers, clean them up. Alright, I want to show something that I've been told from someone who builds a lot of ISX engines. These injector rockers, you know, when they're on this rocker shaft, the bearing inside, you know, the cam is pushing this way, upwards, and it's pushing this downwards. So you've got a lot of force on both sides of this pushing upwards on the center part, which would be the shaft. And you can see that these wear on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. The more they wear on the bottom, the more gap they get on the top. So they work their way higher and higher up on the rocker shaft. And what happens is this oiler right here, this hole for the oiler right here, as these wear out, they get less and less pressure on them. This one is not as affected nearly as badly as this one is. So as this wears upwards, this gap gets bigger and bigger, and less oil get through here to oil this thing. Okay, and it causes the roller to chatter. After a while, you get a chatter in the center of the roller. Well, if you ever get an engine that's wearing out and this thing's starting to chatter right here, that means it's not getting enough oil and it's not spinning fast enough to keep up with the cam. And it chews the cam as well. Okay, that's what I was told I'm not sure if that's what it is, but that's something I was told. There's a cross drilling here. You can see there's a cross drilling here that goes up towards it. There's one here. And I think that it supplies this roller. I've never had one apart, so I can't tell you for sure. But I'm pretty sure there's a reason why they put that cross drilling there, and that's probably to lube this roller. And if that's the case, if you ever get a roller that chatters, you should probably replace the whole rocker arm, because if you check this inside diameter, it'd probably be out of spec. So, just something I thought I'd mention. Alright, that hole does in fact oil the roller. If I put the straw in here, you see the brake cleaner coming out around the roller? So that in fact does lubricate this roller. So if it's not lubricating good, if it's not turning good, that means it's not getting enough oil pressure up here, which means this is probably wearing out. Alright, to know which side this goes, at the very end of the head there's a bolt, and next to that bolt is a hole where the oil comes up through the head to oil this cross shaft, okay, this rocker shaft. If you turn the rocker shaft, you'll see there's a hole here, and this end of the head next to the screw is a hole. So this rocker shaft goes towards the back. The other rocker shaft would go towards the front. This hole has to line up with the oil hole in the head. So go show those.
Got them at the front.
Lovely.
And at the back.
If I'm not sneezing, I'm coughing. That's what YouTube videos are all about, right? Fun. You see where that lines up? That's how you know which way they go. Cut. Very gentle like. There we go. Cut my arm? I scraped it. Alright. Now we got these little doohickeys, rings that it's probably sitting on. Have to get these lined up. That. There. Not down. Sitting on this ring. There we go. Sitting on that ring. You got to keep checking these rings to make sure they're loose. Make sure you're not sitting on one of them. You also have to do that while you're tightening the bolts to make sure you don't bind up on one of them. So let's get our socket and our little ratchet and start them all. Alright, when you start bringing these down, before you get them down, make sure these stems for each injector is inside the center. Make sure they're in the middle of these. Each one of these, otherwise you're gonna have a bad day. Make sure all this is loose as you come down, and then slowly bring it down with a little bit of tension by hand. That's what you got to do, but you should follow the book. I'm no professional, that's for sure. Don't take this as an instructional video. I don't want nobody screwing up their motor just because they're watching me do this to mine. Cut.